Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2-1. Defiant in the lead, but Boston showing that they remember how to play this game, Hex.
Yeah, catching a little bit of a break there. Toronto stepping a little bit out of their comfort zone on their defense and then unable to play the objective on Anubis. Maybe getting a little ahead of themselves, thinking, oh, we got this. If that defense goes perfectly, then they're in a good position. But Boston sets the stage for a reverse sweep here. They're still alive in this one, trailing 1-2 in maps. And our next map is the lovely escort map of Rialto.
Rialto. We're going to take a look at what actually happened here at the end of Anubis. On high, the vision here. Roki on the point, touches it at the end, and he wasn't able to make it back in time. He had it. This is what we were talking about in terms of how you have to keep that body on the point. You have to have one of your team on there, and he just misread the situations by a split second. Yep. Lost his team the map.
It was as close can be. Not as egregious, perhaps, as last night's Shanghai Dorado situation. However, it still does cost him the map. I think Boston probably had that one anyway. They looked much stronger, but you hate to lose that one.
That leaves a bad taste. But Defiant, they got the mouthwash. They're going to be able to figure this out now because this is where you just shake it off during the break, reset, and get the job done here. Defiant still very capable of ending this in 4. So a bit of progress already, hanging out around the corner here. This is the name of the game for the Boston Uprising. This choke point, very common to see teams kind of clash into each other here.
Rialto's all about the corners, a lot of 90-degree angles. You go this way, that way, this way, that way. So a lot of corner holds. So right now, Defiant in a pretty decent position on the high ground. Looks like they're just going to abandon it now as the tanks jump down onto the payload.
Yeah, Fusion's doing a good job of working his way up to that shatter. Currently in the lead by a fair margin. And Ivy, right now, just hunting for a way to get energy going so that he can start melting faces. Still a bit of focus on him, but there it is. Starting to go. Yeah, looks like they had an idea here. They're trying to collapse, sandwich the defense. That might end up costing them, though, and it certainly does. Yakpong and Neko down.
Well, it was a cute idea, but unfortunately in the Overwatch League, those cute ideas don't work out too often. What he's trying to do is come down. He's going to give himself a personal barrier to try to get his energy up, and then he's going to go to his main tank, give his main tank the barrier, hide behind him. However, Boston reads it like a book, collapses, finds the targets, cleans up the fight.
This is the thing that's about keeping the core together here. It's tough to come up with the clever plays like that and make it work. And Kellick's still flying high right now. Gotta be careful.
Ivy does have Graviton up, and he's got it up faster than Color Hex by a significant margin.
That's exactly. Rialto is one of the trickier ones to get things done, but the shatter comes through finally here. Ivy hanging out on the edge, but his fusions with the follow-up. He gets the perfect shatter, lays him out flat, and 2 kills off the back of that means that the Defiant are sent back to spawn.
And now the Boston Uprising are going to be able to get their other ultimates online. Only had to use Fusion's Earth Shatter to win that fight, so they're in a small advantage right now. Yakpung still trying to get his way to a Shatter.
He hasn't had the most fun here, Yakpung. He seems to either just die or have to hold the shield up and cross his fingers and hope. Right now it's going to be the trans through, so he finally gets to swing that sledgehammer around. Grab gets through, however. Ivy looking for it. Exactly, counter grab of his own. 2 big kills need to come through here or it's not going to be worth it, and they do manage to even things up. But Boston somehow surviving. Fusions, that's unreal. No HP on him, but he's still in the fight.
That's a 3v3 on the card. Fusions breaks, and that will force the Transcendence out to keep his team alive. They want to win this off-fight before the reinforcements come in for the Toronto Defiant, but Ivy finds Kellex, who was riding on the wall, riding on the edge, and he goes down.
Sometimes you're on the edge. You're just going to fall over on the other side without even realizing it. This is it now. The Boston Uprising looking so good there. They did manage to bleed quite a bit of time off the clock. That was a solid defense.
I mean, I'm getting tired of saying his name, but you can't talk about this game without talking about Ivy. He's almost got another Graviton surge up.
Yeah, for this next fight. Sound barrier's already used as well. Could just decide to throw it in here. Yep, hiding it on the cart like that. Very few ways now for the Boston Uprising to mitigate this incoming damage. It's all about the shields, and they just don't have them.
They try to throw down the Shatter. Fusions is trying to save his team with it, but it is a torrent of red in our kill feed. The team kill, horn comes out, horn, bell, whatever it is. I wish it was an air horn, it's not. And Ivy continues to just chase people down with 90+ energy.
Why not? Trying to get those staggers. That would be big. It would slow Color Hex down as well. Color Hex gonna have his grab. But this is it, because Ivy is so aggressive, because he's hitting all these shots, He's nearly got a grab of his own online. That's unreal. He just used one, and he's already up to 60%.
It's a little bit ridiculous. He's getting one every minute and 10 seconds. 2 kills are the most important 2 kills as well. They take out both supports. Fusions will fall shortly after. Rolls through, a little dip into the canal.
Going for a swim. Yeah, well, Envy, this is going to be looking very good here for the Defiant. Halfway to the second point. 2 minutes on the clock. Ult's online. They've nearly got the grab combo. Wombo again. And Color Hex, you know, that's the thing. This is what we kind of saw from Boston Uprising on the first 2 maps of this series. They're not quite lining up with the grab and the self-destruct, so it's going to be difficult for them to execute.
Yeah, it feels bad, but Boston might just have to eat this one and accept it because you don't have a lot to use. A Graviton comes in, they're going to transcend, they're going to try to keep alive.
Oh, looked for it, but a great play there. You got to give it to him. Fusions manages to angle his shield correctly and deny the shatter. Still 1 kill on the Calyx, but they lose Yakpung on Defiant's side. And in the meantime, they're still making progress. Fusion's having to give ground, but Color Hex finding Ivy. This could be big.
It is absolutely huge. Stellar's going to fall down too. Defiant put themselves in an odd position, fighting inside a very small room. Did not work out for them, and Boston, against all odds, able to win that fight. Toronto with a major lead, and Ultimate's going into that fight. Better execution from Boston, and Fusions is keeping this team alive because he's getting shatter up so quick, and he's shattering nearly every fight. He's a very aggressive Reinhardt with the shatters. Sometimes they'll throw him at a shield because the other Reinhardt just doesn't think it's going to happen, and it somehow works. It's ridiculous what this man's able to do with his ultimate ability.
Oh, we just saw it there. He's reading Yakpung like a book right now. Yakpung trying to go big with the shatter. Fusions wasn't having any of it. Kept his eyes on him and just got that shield in the way. So now it's they have to do it the hard way here on Defiant's side. Note has got his ult online for the Uprising, and he's just going to chuck it right over the edge. This is going to make Defiant scatter. And they do find the angles to survive. But now they have to deal with Boston Uprising occupying the high ground like this. It's so difficult for them to press forward when they have to worry about Hex just raining in damage from above.
Yeah, the staircase is such an important battle on this point. Zarya just able to drop the splash damage alternate fires onto the squad. So Toronto going to try a rotation.
Up to 100 energy as well. Now he's just going to be hitting like a freight train. Point blank. Grab gets thrown in. Sound barrier is there to defend it. However, the self-destruct is huge. You're looking for it, but there's no shield. Quad kill, self-destruct, perfect.
It's about as perfect as you can write it up. Up into the sky, Graviton, self-destruct, Earth Shatter, everyone dead. And what's even worse for Boston, they used everything that they had going on in that fight except for Rally. Of course, it did cost Toronto a great deal of their resources, but on the offense, you're pushing through. Roki might have a sound barrier up soon, so we're going to enter the poke war as we near only a minute on the clock.
This is the big deal. Aim God, gotta be careful. Getting dropping. He's dropping low. Nego's wanting to say hello to him, but Defiant, the big thing is you get that second point, and you get a little bit of progress here towards the third. And so now you have time to work with. Minute on the clock. You should be able to, I mean, Ivy, given Ivy's rate at which he gets grabs, he could very well get another one here before it's over. And well, he can pick up a kill too. Blaze's out of it. Nope, getting T-Mech isn't going to help things here for the Boston Uprising. This fight, they're not going to survive it.
Fusion's down as well. Defiant continue to push. This is a very difficult map to complete. And the Defiant win that matchup without having to use anything. So they're going into it. They did use Sound Barrier. Lucio out of the fight for now. So you're going to see Toronto wait just a second. He's trying to bring the Reinhardt back into the mix, so they're at full fighting force. They do come back into it. 20 seconds left, last fight.
Yeah, this is it, right on the doorstep of the third point. Grab gets thrown in by Ivy to kick off the party. Fusion's looking for the shatter, and it's gonna be traded right back. He blocks out, runs, hits his own, but the chance is there for Nego to keep his team up. Note, however, will find enough damage on Stellar to remove him. And now the man advantage, this certainly has to be it here for the Boston Uprising. Defiant trying to get just a little bit more out of the payload. But now they need to stay alive. They need to touch the point. They will manage just that. Envy, however, he's going to get focused down, and this is going to be it. Boston will deny the Defiant a third point. But this was still a solid push coming in from the Defiant.
For Rialto, that's a very good push. It's a defensive favored map in a lot of situations. It just gets harder and harder for the offense to push through, especially that very last choke point. So nothing to be ashamed of on that offense for Toronto. But it does mean we're not going to a second half of Rialto. Either Boston gets it further than that, or they don't. Could be going to a map 5, though.
Yeah, a lot of calling coming in here from Fusions as well. One of the new players to the stage here in the Overwatch League, and he has just made such a huge impact for the Boston Uprising. Their Ryan player, their main tank, he's right in the thick of the action, and if he's vocal, that's where you can see Boston start to come together as a unit. and build off of his plays. Color Hex as well.
Yeah, a new addition as well, representing the Pacific region. I believe our only player in the Overwatch League from New Zealand.
He's having a bit of a struggle in terms of numbers, still trailing behind his counterpart Ivy on the other side. But still, Boston, they looked solid. They can get the job done here. If they can pick up 3, we're going to a map 5. We'll be going the distance.
Yeah, map 5 goes back to control, so I'm always all for it. Seems you and I end up with a lot of map 5s,
we
but
do.
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with control as well at the end. Makes for some exciting games. And well, this is exciting because both of these teams are battling for that stage 1 playoff spot. Such an important match because they're even in terms of standings, neck and neck, but they're still both in the running. A loss here would really set you back, would really set you on a hard path to the playoffs. And so now it's on the Boston Uprising to get the job done here on the offense. Toronto Defiant looking great.
It's been a tale of tank play for both sides. I think Ivy's outclassing Color Hex just a little bit, but I think Fusions is getting the better of Yakpung. So it's been an interesting dynamic to watch what is widely referred to as the Zarya-Ryan combo, which they work so well together, how each team is utilizing their different pieces.
Exactly. See the bubble there that goes up on Color Hex? That's where he's getting that energy from. That's what ramps up his damage. And he's able to put one on his teammates as well. That absorbs damage, it cancels out damage, it cancels out effects. It's a safe little bubble Hex.
Yeah. I mean, I think bubble is the proper colloquialism. I think we found it early on in Overwatch language.
Yeah, there you go. And well, hate to burst your bubble, but Ivy's gonna come charging through. Already with the kill, he sets it up for a follow-up on Fusions as well. Boston not going down without a fight though. Stellar and Yakpung getting overwhelmed, but with Ivy still alive, there's just too much damage.
I mean, the question now is, are they gonna send their Lucio back? They get note late, so they have 2 very slow heroes who just died in that fight. So they're gonna send the Lucio back here. Here's Roki. That is the taxi, or for our younger audience, a Lyft or an Uber, something along those lines. Taxi is just a yellow version of those things.
There you go, exactly. You see him around still. I think New York, you still see him around, but Defiant. It's on Ivy now. He's got the grab. Envy's nearly got the self-destruct. Could have just waited and tried to buy it out. Actually, no, never mind. Straight into it, and 2 kills immediately cut off from their healers, cut off from their support line. The tanks just get blown up. Turns out you don't need the Wombo combo Hex.
No, this has been all Toronto here, and able to win a fight with only a Graviton Surge is always feels good. They're able to save everything else, but now we're entering the ultimate phase of the game for the Boston Uprising. Color Hex still a while away from that ultimate, though. Maybe that's why Ivy is so comfortable just tossing these grabs in.
Exactly. I mean, in terms of how quickly they're getting it, Ivy right now on average on this map gets it 30 seconds faster than Color Hex. That's a big difference. Color Hex, he's got to step that game up. He's got to pump those numbers up, Hex. Blase gonna go for the rally. We will have a shatter thrown in by Yakpung. Point blank, no follow-up possible though because of the self-destruct flying through the air. And there it is, the shatter of his own thrown in by Fusions. And God deciding now is the time to trance and try and keep his teammates up. But as it wears off, they're going to get brought into a grab, and that is certainly going to be a whole bunch of dead Boston Uprising.
It's another grab from Ivy. Ivy is playing a single-player game right now. He's just sitting on the ledge, using the beam to just do so much damage. No one even looked at him. No one even looked at him that entire fight. Welcome to the Foot Clan. Right to the face.
Oh, man. Oh, this is...
Our buddy Eric Doa believes that they need a special icon because the melee icon's a fist. He's like,
yes.
it's inaccurate.
Just give it a boot. Come on.
All right, Color Hex finally with a Graviton up. The only thing to really respond to the grab would be Stellar's rally in this if they want to stay alive. Neko getting very close to his own transcendence.
Exactly. Color Hex finally going to throw that grab in. They do manage to catch a bunch of squishies, and that is going to be a big kill onto Roki, but he can get back into this fight quick as soon as he respawns. Neko feels like it's time to use the trance to keep his teammates up. Stellar, though, going to get obliterated. Fusion's there. The focus fire just too good. And the grabs are all over the place. They're trading back and forth now, both of these teams. But it's looking like the Defiant will finally crumble here on the defense. Still, only 30 seconds on the clock for Boston.
I just can't believe Ivy had another grab going there. And then after he throws at the grab, he leaves the fight into spawn at 25% in his grab. Of course, now his energy is reset. Going to be much more difficult for him to build that in the future. We should have another fight before this checkpoint is taken.
Absolutely. Note's got the self-destruct. Curious to see if he decides to throw it in here, if he's going to hold on to it for a fresh mech. Still waiting. I mean, Color Hex could definitely get the grab online in this fight as both teams face off. Shields are up and they are waiting. Envy trying to find a flank, trying to find a target, and he is just going to decide to wrap back onto the point. He's all about just trying to contest at this point. Trance is thrown in, and it's just out and out chaos. And through all of that, Note emerges with 2 kills on the self-destruct, and they will succeed. Boston Uprising playing off of each other. Color Hex rallying them up, bringing them up together, and Note blowing them up.
Yeah, the group hug interrupted by a giant mech self-destructing. So a little discordant atmosphere there. However, that was a very solid first checkpoint defense from the Toronto Defiant. Only 2 minutes left to get to the second checkpoint and add on some additional time. But it is a long ways away. It's on the other side of the building and even further than that. So I would expect Toronto to try to put some pressure on in places where maybe not a lot of teams will try to hold, like right here.
Yeah, like right here, straight off the top, onto the point. Sound barrier thrown in here now for the Defiant with a grab, of course, from Ivy. Of course, just no shock there. He's always got it online for all of these fights, and Blase will be the first one to go down. Yakpunk follows, though, so this is getting a bit dicey, but the Defiant, it seems like with Ivy alive and Envy, they're able to work together. And Boston Uprising will get forced back to spawn.
Yeah, smart rotation from Ivy going through the room to catch them on the retreat. Note will be going down late. Now at 90% on that charge. So important. We're below 90 seconds as well.
No, there is not a whole lot of time to work with here, Boston. Color Hex, he's got the grab online, though. Note still working on the self-destruct. Rally going to be used by Blase to carry his team into it. Beef them up with that additional armor. Color Hex, he's high on energy, he's doing damage, he's gonna be melting that shield, and so we see Yakpung have to give ground and back off. But at this point now, Defiant, they've accomplished that first fight, what they were trying to get in. Now they're into the standard place to hold here on the high ground. It's on Boston Uprising to try and root them off of it.
Ivy should be able to get to grab during this fight, considering he's got the high ground on the stairs, able to rein it in. Long distance grab from Color Hex. They're going to try to set up the combo.
Floats it in. Stun goes down. Sound barrier is up, though. No, it's Neko with the trance keeping his team into this. And now it's going to be the counter. Ivy throws the grab of his own. Fusion's going to go down. And with 30 seconds on the clock, Boston Uprising, they're battling for their lives here in this series.
This one's getting pretty close. Yakpung goes down, but as does Blase, taken out by his opposing number. Envy just trying to get some damage here, but it has seemed that Boston is retreating. They've only got 4 alive, but their supports were so low that they couldn't stick around. Should be able to set up one more contest, but it's not going to be ideal. D.Va's so far behind this fight.
Kelix is trying to find a way in. He's already been spotted out, though. He's already at half HP. Surely he's going to die. Yep, Envy immediately jumps on him. Sound barrier used here by Defiant to kick off the fight as well. They know they have a man advantage. They know that Kelix isn't in it. Now they've lost Fusions on the Boston side. 4 of them alive. The Hail Mary grab getting thrown in by Color Hex. No, so close to the self-destruct that he's going to get it off, but right now, Defiant, they've got plenty of places to hide, and nobody's going to go boom. This is going to be the Toronto Defiant holding in the end, and they will win the series versus Boston Uprising.
A small misstep on Toronto Defiant, but they learned from their mistakes on Anubis. Come back swinging here. And I think we see the budding of a new star in Ivy. Just amazing Zarya play throughout the day, supported by his tank partner in Envy, Yakpung. Everybody had a good game, but Neko's got to be feeling extra happy to beat his former team.
That's the feel-good moment. That's what everybody, I mean, when you get traded off of your old team, you know, that's what you're looking to do. Hey, I'm on my feet, I'm doing better, and this is why we just won.
More importantly for this expansion team, their record now rises to 3-2 with a legitimate chance to get to the stage playoffs. And as an expansion squad, you're not even existing in the 2018 season. To come in to make first stage playoffs is going to be huge.
Yeah, there you go. He knows what's up. We should be hearing from him momentarily as well, so glad to hear that. Neko, after such a star performance from him, alongside Ivy, alongside the rest of his team, they've done an excellent job here, and you're right to point it out. They are the ones who take the key victory going into the Stage 1 playoffs. It's Boston Uprising who are left wondering what they did wrong. Now we're going to go ahead and hear from the man himself, Neko, in an interview.
That is right. Thank you, casters. What is up, everybody? I am here with Neko from Toronto Defiant. Woo! Congratulations on the win. Now, during halftime, I actually got to talk to your teammate, Aid, and he told me that we will get to see a more motivated Neko today. And did you feel like you were extra motivated today because you were facing off against your former teammates, Boston Uprising? 자, 네코 선수, 오늘 제가 해프타임 때 에이드 선수와 살짝 말씀을 이제 나눴는데 그분께서 이런 말씀을 해주셨어요. 오늘 좀 각성한 네코 선수를 보실 수 있을 겁니다라고 말씀해 주셨는데 아무래도 예전 팀인 보스턴과의 경기라서 네코 선수 어떻게 좀 더 각성한 모습을 보였다고 생각을 하시나요?
네, 진짜 엄청나게 이기고 싶어가지고 각성했던 것 같아요.
I was super motivated because I really, really wanted to win. All right. Now, talking about Boston Uprising, I saw that in the second map in Hollywood, you actually used the Boston Uprising logo spray on the floor, and you were, poking a little fun at them. And after seeing that, I actually thought that you had a lot to say to Boston Uprising. So, anything you want to say? 자, 그 두 번째 맵 할리우드에서 제가 그 보스턴 그 스프레이를 쓰셨죠? 네, 그거에 대해서 아무래도 그걸 보니까 좀 하실 말씀이 많으실 것 같아서 이 자리를 빌어서 한 말씀 해주세요.
그냥 그거는 솔직히 예전에 보스턴 스프레이를 낀 게 안 바뀌어가지고 그냥 있는 김에 좀 한 거예요 그냥.
So actually, it was already in the settings, and I forgot to change the Boston logo to my new team. So sorry about that. That's what happened, and that's why I used it. Alrighty, well, thank you so much, everybody. Give it up for Neko one more time. Let's send it back to the casters. Semler and Hex, back to you guys.
I've heard, I read in an advertisement, Hex, that Neko had a bridge to sell you as well.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. It was on accident, but I love it. I love his play, but it's beyond just Neko getting revenge on his former team. They started the day 11th in the standings. Just that one win catapults them all the way up to 6. So with a 7-match stage, it's really important to win every game. You see the big difference that happens there.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's how close it is right now. The level of parity, expansions teams, and the teams from season 2018. I mean, it's a big deal. And you see just how they are all neck and neck. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our player of the match. Brought to you by Omen by HP. And, well, big shock here, Hex? I think not.
Yeah, no, it's Neko. And the halftime team did a great job working up that he was getting the opposing Zenyatta very often as well. I think he had 4 final blows on the opposing Zenyatta after the half at this point. I think you could have given it to Ivy, but it's such an important win for Neko. They just got him back in the lineup the other day. He was unable to play the first couple matches, and it's been a big difference. This Toronto Defiant team should be scaring people who are pretty much locks to get into the stage playoffs, because I feel like on a good day they could beat almost anybody.
Yeah, they're a real threat now, and it's based a lot on this guy. It's based a lot on Ivy. The two of them, the two core damage dealers for this team, doing excellent work. I'm really glad to see that level of performance coming in from Neko. What a beast. I mean, final blows on Aim God. There you go. He's pretty much established it. That you in particular, I've got a bone to pick with.
My favorite one was when he was in a Graviton and he's searching for targets in a Graviton and finds Aim God with a headshot like across the map. It's beautiful.
Well, guys, more Overwatch coming at you. This is the first match over here for the day, but we still have 3 more matches coming up next. So be sure to stay tuned. It's going to be the Hangzhou Spark versus the Los Angeles Gladiators coming up next after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.